So it was last year when I was planting my spring garden that I discovered this plant called a New England pumpkin pie squash. The uniqueness of this squash is that it's just naturally really sweet. When you roast it, it creates this absolutely rich pumpkin flavor in your pumpkin pie. So with this squash, which we're now featuring from Oxbow Farm, I'd like to take you through the process of making Macrina's special pumpkin pie. Macrina's pumpkin pie is made with our flaky pie dough, which is rolled out to about 1/8 of an inch thick. I like to put down a 10-inch circle on the top. I just use it kind of as a template. And then I cut a 12-inch round. So after I have the pie dough kind of situated in the Pyrex pan, I fold the edge towards me and I kind of create a standing collar or edge. And then I crimp it all the way around. At that point, I like to chill it for about 30 minutes in a freezer. So we want to blind bake this pie shell. So you want to preheat your oven to 375 degrees. What we're going to do is we're going to line it with parchment paper and use bakery weights. I use hazelnuts. The importance is that you push it to the edges of your pie shell to prevent shrinking. This goes into the oven for 35 to 45 minutes. With this squash, I'm going to cut it in half, and then I'm going to cut each half into 3 pieces. Scoop out the seeds, and then place it on a rimmed baking sheet with parchment paper. I'm going to put a 1/2 cup of water on the baking sheet just to create a little bit of moisture. This will roast for an hour, hour and a half. Bring out the roasted squash and let it cool a bit. So after I've measured out about 2 cups of squash, I'm going to put this into my RoboCoupe, along with a cup of buttermilk, just to kind of help it blend a little bit better. What we add to the pureed squash is a 1/4 cup of brown sugar and a teaspoon of nutmeg, 1/4 teaspoon of cloves, 1 teaspoon ground cinnamon, 1/4 cup semolina, 2 tablespoons honey, 1 tablespoon brandy, and 2 tablespoons maple syrup, and a 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt. I've just taken a small little section of fresh ginger, chopped it up, and 1 tablespoon of that gets added in. We'll mix up 3 eggs and fold that in. We've found at Macrina, after years of making these pies, that it's really best to fold in the eggs into your custard, so that way you're not over mixing the custard, which creates it to souffle and then also to collapse. So this squash mixture goes into a blind baked pie shell, which will go into a 325-degree oven for about 45 minutes. What we're looking for in the baked pie is the top custard will be less shiny and the center will be set. So I actually just shake the pie pan, and if the center doesn't move, it's all set. For a festive garnish, I like to cut out and bake decorative shapes from the remaining pie dough and place it on top. I made a combination of powdered sugar and cinnamon, of which I dusted on the edge of the pie. And like all pumpkin pies, you absolutely have to serve it with sweetened whipped cream. Taking the extra time to roast squash to make pumpkin pie is totally worth it because the results are so delicious. Happy Thanksgiving to you all, and for more information on this wonderful pumpkin pie recipe, follow the link on your screen or visit us at macrinabakery.com.